What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. VP Tactical here, and this is my in-depth review of the Vector Optics Frenzy Plus 1x18x22 red dot. The model number here is the SCRD 75, and if you wanted to look it up, that's how you can find it quickly and easily online. And this is an enclosed red dot sight, as you can see. Now, before I dive in, if you happen to like this content and found it valuable in any way, you can certainly support my channel by simply subscribing and liking this video. And I'm always cooking up new ideas and topics, more things to come. So let's go ahead and get to it. So here's a rundown of the specifications. So if you didn't see my unboxing video, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth than this. But it does have a IP67 waterproof rating to protect against, of course, the elements, right? We take our gear outdoors, maybe it's used for EDC, so it should protect against sweat, so on and so forth. It is a slim edged window design, so it's less chunky than some of the other models that I've seen out there. Or at least the intent is that they're trying to slim this down so that way you get a better or wider field of view. And it is made from 7075 T6 aluminum alloy, which does make it relatively lightweight for its size. Seems to be the standard across most optics these days. And it is a 3 MOA dot, which features 9 brightness levels, and it has 2 night vision modes. And so this particular setting right now is 2 away from the top, so I think I'm on the 7th of the brightness. And it does actually have a motion sensor, which I do happen to like a lot. I know HoloSun is very popular with that, and some other makes and models that do that. That being said, you know, it's very similar to a lot of the mainstream models out there. And I did do an unboxing video on this, and so I'm not going to go into massive detail about that, but just a quick blurb, what you get in the box, the optic itself, your user manual, cleaning cloth, and what they call a V key, which can be used to adjust the windage and elevation on this particular optic. And I did find a T10 Torx bit also does the same job too, but their little V key is pretty cool. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the specific things that I noted in my use of this particular optic. And so Vector created what's called the VOD footprint, VOD, and I thought it was proprietary, although from my research it seems that it is compatible with acro, which is certainly a plus. So if you have a pistol that might have the acro mount already available on it, or maybe readily available, this could be something you could swap over to it. Because otherwise, if you don't, then you're buying a optic plate for your specific platform that's going to have essentially the acro mount or the VOD mount that allows you to mount this particular optic to it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that towards the end. But the viewing window is clear and the dot does remain pretty crisp. When you get to the highest setting, you do get a bit of sunburst, so that is something, or excuse me, starburst. So that is something to be aware of. I think that's pretty common, most optics, right? The buttons are easy to use and very simple to operate. In addition, like I said, that motion sensor is a handy feature. You can leave the optic basically in the on position, and it does go in a standby state until you move it, I believe after 3 minutes. And then the optic, once you move it, it is operating like it normally would at the last retained power setting. The optic was pre-sighted at the factory and almost spot on at 25 yards, although it was about 2 inches to the right from point of impact. The elevation wind adjustments are positive clicks, letting you know firmly that the value has been changed. And my model was shipped without a battery, so just an FYI that you'll need to get one. Although you might as well grab a few since they're so inexpensive. And it is I know this is hard to read because my camera doesn't really want to pick that up right now, but it is a CR2032. So I think I picked up like a 10 pack or something for, 10 or 15 bucks. I don't know. It was inexpensive. So that was one thing I wanted to make note of. The last and final thing I'll touch on, I mentioned earlier, was the mounting plate. It is solid and sturdy. And as of now, their adapter plates cover the majority of footprints and mounts, but you are going to have to buy that separately. So they don't include it with the optic right out the gate, but they do make them for the very popular options that are out there, such as Glock MOS, RMR, low weaver, riser weaver, low dovetail, and the CZ Shadow 2 footprint as of now. I'm not sure if they'll have it for other makes and manufacturers or what the company's plans are, so just an FYI. But what I do like about this is, given its size, I mean, it does make its home pretty nice on a pistol, and I think that actually looks pretty stunning. But you could also run this on a PCC or maybe a similar platform, run it with a riser and possibly with a magnifier behind it for more versatility. So I don't think that this optic is strictly limited to the pistol market. And my overall experience was positive. I am enjoying this optic so far. I continually test and put my gear through its paces. And if there's a problem, I won't hesitate to highlight it. This is one of those optics that can be had for less than a name point and similar price point to HoloSun products. Last I saw on Amazon, this was running about 260 bucks, which for me, in my opinion, I think that there's a lot of value in that price point. Let me know what your thoughts are. Drop those comments below. I'd love to hear some feedback from you folks. Be safe, stay vigilant. We'll catch you on the next video. We got a lot more exciting things coming. So take care and catch you in the next video. Be safe, stay vigilant.